Mark is 47 years old. He earns $74,000 a year, owns a decent home in the suburbs, drives a reliable car, takes one vacation a year. By every normal measure, he's doing fine. But last Tuesday night, he sat down with a retirement calculator for the first time. He typed in his numbers, and what came back? He had to read it twice. At his current savings rate, Mark will run out of money by age 71. He's not poor. He's not reckless. He just never stopped to look at the actual math, and the math doesn't lie. Here's the thing about Mark. He's not some edge case. He's basically everyone. According to a 2024 Federal Reserve report, nearly 56% of Americans say they're not on track to retire comfortably. Not some small slice of struggling people. More than half. And we're not talking about people who never tried. We're talking about people who did what they were told. Get a steady job, buy a house, pay your bills, work hard. The problem is, doing what you were told in 1995 does not get you to retirement in 2035. The math has quietly changed on all of us. The median American household has around $65,000 saved for retirement, according to Vanguard's 2023 How America Saves report. At standard withdrawal rates, that lasts less than 3 years after 40 years of working. And here's the part that quietly stings. Most people don't even realize this is happening to them, because from the outside, life looks okay. The lights are on. The fridge is full. There's a Netflix subscription. Everything feels fine until you sit down and actually check the numbers, like Mark did. Maybe you've been meaning to check yours. Maybe you've been avoiding it. Either way, this video is that moment for you. In the next 10 minutes, I want to walk you through 7 quiet signs that your retirement is slipping further away, not because you're doing anything dramatic wrong, but because of small, invisible habits that stack up over years without you noticing. Some of these are going to feel very familiar, and that's okay. The point isn't to make you feel bad. It's to give you a clear picture so you can actually do something about it. Stick around for sign number 5. That one is the one most people never connect to retirement, but once you see it, you'll understand exactly why so many middle-class Americans end up working way longer than they ever planned. Let's take a step back, because this problem didn't happen overnight. For most of the 20th century, retirement was something companies handled for you. You worked 30 years, they gave you a pension, and you got a monthly check for the rest of your life. The risk was on the company, not on you. Then, in the 1980s, something called the 401k came along. It was originally a tax loophole for executives, but slowly, it replaced pensions for almost everyone. And suddenly, the entire responsibility of retirement shifted from your employer to your own 2 hands. The problem? Nobody actually taught people how to invest. Fidelity's 2023 retirement research found that less than 30% of Americans who have access to a 401k contribute enough to even get their full employer match, meaning millions of people are leaving free money on the table, literally turning down part of their own salary without realizing it. And on top of that, the cost of the basic middle-class life, housing, healthcare, college for kids, has risen dramatically faster than wages. According to the Economic Policy Institute, wages for middle-income workers have grown roughly 15% since 1979, adjusted for inflation. The cost of living? It's more than doubled in the same window. So it's not that people are lazy or careless, it's that the game got harder while the rulebook stayed the same, and most people are still playing by the old rules. That's the background. Now let's get into the specific signs. Most people save like this. Income comes in, life happens, and whatever survives at the end of the month goes into savings. Some months that's a little. A lot of months it's nothing. The problem with this approach is that life will always expand to fill your income. There will always be something. A repair, a birthday, a spontaneous trip. If savings comes last, it will always come last. Fidelity recommends saving at least 15% of your income for retirement, including any employer match. But according to their own data, the average American saves around 8%. That gap alone can mean the difference between retiring at 65 or working until 72. The fix is simple. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, automate your retirement contribution the day your paycheck hits, before you see it, before you can spend it. Pay your future self before you pay anyone else. This one is incredibly common and almost never talked about. You leave a job and suddenly there's a small 401k balance sitting there, maybe $8,000, maybe $18,000, and it feels like a windfall right when you're in between things and money feels tight. So you cash it out, you pay the penalty, you pay the tax, and you move on. Here's what that actually costs you in the long run. $15,000 cashed out at age 30, left alone in a retirement account, would grow to roughly $120,000 by age 65 at average market returns. You didn't just lose $15,000, you lost $120,000, and you barely noticed it happened. According to Vanguard, about 40% of workers cash out their 401k at least once when changing jobs. It's one of the single biggest quiet destroyers of middle-class retirement savings. If you've done this, it's okay. Most people have. The important thing now is to never do it again. Roll it over. Leave it alone. Let time do the work. Owning a home is supposed to be part of the American dream, and it genuinely can be a form of wealth building. But for a lot of middle-class families, the home has quietly become the place where all the money goes and never comes back. Mortgage, property tax, insurance, repairs, upgrades, new appliances, and then the house next door sells for more, so you feel pressure to renovate the kitchen. The rule of thumb is that housing should be no more than 30% of your take-home pay, but according to the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies, over 40% of American homeowners are now considered cost-burdened, meaning they spend more than that, and in many cases, significantly more. When your house takes too much, everything else suffers, including retirement. This one sounds almost embarrassing, but it's more common than you'd think. Most people have a general sense of what they spend, but they've never actually sat down and mapped it out, category by category, dollar by dollar. And when they finally do, the number is almost always higher than they expected. A 2023 survey by NerdWallet found that 83% of Americans underestimate their monthly spending by an average of $1,000 or more per month, $12,000 a year, quietly slipping away while people feel like they're being pretty careful with money. You cannot fix what you cannot see. If you don't know your real monthly number, you can't build a savings plan that actually works. It starts with knowing. This is the one I said you'd want to hear, and it's tender because it comes from love. A lot of middle-class parents quietly become the financial backstop for their adult children. A little help with rent, covering their car insurance, paying their phone bill, lending money that both sides know will never fully come back. And individually, none of it seems like a big deal. But a 2023 Bankrate study found that parents who financially support adult children spend an average of $1,400 a month doing so. That's $16,800 a year, year after year, often right through the peak earning and saving years of their 40s and 50s. The hardest conversation isn't with your financial advisor, it's with your kid. Helping them become financially independent isn't just good for your retirement, it's genuinely good for them. Real love sometimes looks like stepping back. Here's a trap that catches smart, driven people in particular. You tell yourself, I'll max my 401k when I get the promotion. I'll start investing properly once the mortgage is paid down. I'll get serious when the kids are out of school. And those milestones come, and life fills the space again, and the starting line keeps moving forward. The truth is, there is never a perfect time to start saving for retirement. The best time was 10 years ago. The second best time is today, at whatever income level you're at right now. Even $50 a month invested consistently at 35 becomes a meaningful number by 65. Waiting for enough income is how people wake up at 55 with almost nothing saved. The average Social Security benefit in 2024 is around $1,907 a month. That's about $22,000 a year. For reference, the federal poverty level for a single adult is about $15,000. So Social Security keeps you just above poverty, but not by much. And the Social Security Administration itself has warned that without congressional action, the trust fund could face a funding gap around 2033, meaning benefits could be cut to around 80% of their current level. Social Security was designed to be a supplement, something that works alongside personal savings and pensions. It was never meant to be the whole plan. For millions of middle-class Americans, it has quietly become exactly that. If Social Security is your primary retirement strategy right now, that's not a judgment. It's just a signal that building a second leg underneath it is genuinely urgent. Here's what I want to leave you with. Retirement was never really about the money. It was about the option. The option to say, I don't have to do this anymore. I can choose how I spend my days. I can help my grandkids without checking my account first. The money is just what buys you that option, and the window to build it is not infinite, but it is very likely still open for you, even if you're behind, even if you've made every one of those 7 mistakes. The people who retire with security aren't always the ones who earned the most. They're the ones who finally decided to take it seriously and then kept that decision quietly, consistently, every single month. Wealth isn't loud. It doesn't drive a certain car or live in a certain zip code. Real financial security looks like a calm life where you're not afraid to look at the numbers, where the calculator doesn't scare you anymore. You can get there, but it does require actually starting. Here's one thing you can do today, not tomorrow, today. Go to your employer's 401k portal, or Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab, if you're self-employed, and increase your contribution by just 1%. 1%. Most people don't even feel it in their paycheck, but over 20 years, that 1% can grow into tens of thousands of dollars you wouldn't have had otherwise. That's the first move, not the whole plan, just the first move. And if you want to understand exactly how to build a retirement plan from scratch when you feel like you're starting late, the next video breaks down exactly what to do, step by step, no matter how far behind you think you are. It's one of the most practical things I've put together. Subscribe so it shows up for you, and drop a comment below. How old are you, and when do you want to retire? I genuinely read every single one.